Good afternoon. Thanks for tuning in. So we've talked a little bit about Grand Lake. We've recapped 2019, talked about some sponsorships and a few other things. I thought now would be a good time to talk about me and how I'm here and how I got here and where my passion of bass fishing came from. Uh, so at a very young age, uh, my parents introduced me to fishing. We always grew up going up to camp. My grandmother had a camp on a little lake called Baxter Lake in Rochester, New Hampshire. It was at a campground called Grandview Campground, and I remember going up there as young kids and just being by the lakeside and spending time on the water. When she unfortunately passed away, she left the site to my father, and from there we started building family memories up at that camp. To this day, they still have a site. They're now on the water, and we spend as much time up there as we possibly can. My kids love it. The wife loves it. I love it. I remember my old man taking me out when I was a kid into this yellow and white Starcraft that I had redone the rug in to this green AstroTurf. It was phenomenal. It was the greatest boat I ever had. But we all started somewhere. And that place we used to drag purple and white kelly worms across the lake, and that was what we did to catch fish. And you would go out there and sack 50 to 100 of them a day, and it was incredible. And I've seen that lake go up, down, up, down, up, down. And I heard about how much of a phenomenal smallmouth fishery it used to be, and now you're lucky to catch one or two a year out of there. It's a bit of a grind, but for me, that's how my affection for fishing started. Was my old man taking me out on the lake. Those memories are incredible to me. And now I get to cherish those same type of memories with my children on the same body of water, which is second to none. I remember Eddie and my older brother Jamie talking about this tournament bass fishing. Eddie had bought a little boat at this point. And during the week, Eddie, Jamie, myself, and Josh would go out on Baxter and we'd fish, heads up tournaments. We'd be in the Starcraft and they'd be in the little bass boat, and we'd do 5 fish limit. Loser buys Chinese food. That was always the deal. Loser bought Chinese food. We went to this little Maid Moon hole in the wall place in Rochester, but we loved it. Loser bought Chinese food. And I'd drag around my power bait worm or my Kelly worm, and we always tried to give them the run for our money, but we were always getting our butt whooped. Every now and then we'd sack them, but it was fun. Fun, competitive fishing. Jamie and Eddie, one year, take this trip to the Connecticut River. They hear about this tournament that Northern Bass Supply is putting on. And they go to this tournament, and they come back, and they're just ranting and raving about the experience. How incredible it was, and the time they had, and how much of a show it was, and that was their first dabble with tournament bass fishing. So the next year I had to be there. I'm competitive by nature. I love to bass fish. All right, we're putting the two together now. Let's get this ball rolling. So Eddie had that 1996 Rick Clunn edition that was green and gold, and I went out and bought the same boat. It was I think mine was actually a 95, same edition, but mine was red and silver. 16 foot with a 90 horse on the back of it. It got me on the water. It worked. That's what I had. And I love that little boat. Actually, I got a picture of it right here. Yeah, tough to see. But that was that little boat. And then, so we went out there and we fished that tournament, and it was everything they had said it was and more. It was phenomenal. I was done. I was hooked. Bass fishing was what I wanted to do. Jamie and Eddie enjoyed it. Jamie wasn't much into the competitive side of the thing, so me and Eddie started linking up fishing tournaments together. We started at the Northern Bass Team Trail. We did that, and one of the first events we did, we actually, I remember it well, it was on Squam Lake. Tournament was on a Sunday. We went up on Friday practice Saturday, and we got on a jerkbait bite, and it was a good bite. And we had located some fish, and tournament day comes. We had located a few on beds, and we were saving them for the tournament day in this little bay. And tournament day comes, and it's howling, it's windy, it's brutal. We round the corner to get pulling this bait on our bedfish, and there's a boat sitting right on them. So I was like, crap, what are you going to do? So we just went around the corner to hit a bank to get out of the wind. Well, I mean, not like 5 casts in, I catch a 4.5. And we just keep going down this bank, and we run into another little pocket, and there's just spawning smallies everywhere. So we fill the boat with smallies, and then there's this one lone dock right around the corner, and Eddie flicks under there and catches a 6-pounder. I mean, it was just a day that you would, unbelievable. We actually ended up coming in 4th that day. It was one of our first tournaments, but together, and was hooked. You know what I mean? We started fishing the Northern Bass Trails together. I upgraded from that little Nitro to a 20-foot Ranger, a 201 DVS for a little while. And then life happens, you know. I met a girl, met the wife. We bought a house, you know. So fishing, for me at that time, we liked playing softball together. So I took a little break from fishing and did some softball with the wife. And we bought the house and did that. It was a couple years in there. So that was our thing, you know. And then I got a call from my buddy Paul Hagemiller, who tournaments fishes with the Lakes Region Bass Chasers. He was another one that actually got me into fishing, and they were starting up this new co-angler program. This was probably 6-7 years ago now. Bass was doing this co-angler state team, this deal. They needed co-anglers for their club to qualify for the state team. And I'm like, yeah, this sounds like a good idea, you know. Like, I sold my boat to buy the house, and this got me back on the water. And I really wanted to get back on the water. I missed fishing. I enjoyed it. I wasn't really in the best shape to be doing the softball anymore, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But I wanted to fish again. I had missed it, and I still had that passion. So I jumped at that opportunity to start fishing as co-angler. I jumped in the back of Paul's boat for a couple events that year, but the big focus was the Bass Nation state team. And I fished a few opens that year with Eddie as well. And that's when I had won my first Dobbins rod, and I actually ended up winning the co-angler side of the state team qualifier that day. I caught, I had a good limit of smallies already. I was fishing with Brian Emerson that day. He had put me on some smallmouth. Him, Mark Damasio, Dave Boyko all had found some smallmouth in a bay at Winnie, and they were there. They were there. I had I would say close to 8 pounds before I caught a 6-pounder. At the end of the day, with like 10 minutes left, we went back a little early because Brian takes all the photos. He wanted to hit a little bank before we went in and had to scoot in early to take the photos. He was throwing a spinnerbait over this point. I threw a jig, and I caught one that weighed 612, and then it boosted my bag to like 1182. I think I ended up weighing, oh gosh, for 2 days, I weighed in almost 19 pounds of fish and ended up winning by like 4 pounds in that tournament. That was phenomenal. A phenomenal experience my first year fishing co-angling again. You know, and then as, you know, life progressed, you know, we started having kids and switching careers. I went from selling beer for 12 years at a beer distributor up here to totally jumping out of my comfort zone. I went to work at the Navy Yard, doing something I'd never done before, and I'm so blessed that I took that chance and that opportunity. For me, it was more about the home life. I love what I did selling beer, and the people I worked for were phenomenal, and that was one of the hardest decisions I had ever made. But for me, I wanted that quality of life with my family and the kids and the wife, and I wanted my weekends and my holidays to get to enjoy them when you're in the beer industry. Well, those are your hardest times, is working through the holidays and the holidays, working through the holidays and the weekends, sorry. And I didn't want to do that anymore. I wanted to spend that time with my family. So I made that life choice. It's been about 5 years now. and I'm glad I did. I miss the people I work with, phenomenal people, but I think this career choice has afforded me some opportunities to do some things that I'm really passionate about. So, as we stand today, me and the wife have been married. Oh, it's coming up here. She's on 7 years. We've got 2 girls. Sadie, who's 4. Taylor is 2. They're the light of my life. They love watching Daddy fish. They love catching fish. It's been an incredible opportunity. I still do the co-angler. I am in mission to get to the front of the boat, and I will. It's just when the timing's right. For us, it's not right now. Childcare is very expensive, so until we relieve that burden, I'm just going to stay on the back of the boat and just soak up and learn everything I can from the boaters I have. I've had some great opportunities in the back of the boat, and I've been on some great waters, and I've shared some boat with some incredible guys, and I look forward to continuing to do so. But yeah, it's been a wild ride. So that's kind of how my journey of bass fishing started. As you guys may have noticed in that picture of my old Nitro, I don't quite look like that anymore. And that was another kind of topic I wanted to touch about. 2.5 years ago, me and the wife made a decision to better improve my health. I was going down a sticky road. I had high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, sleep apnea, GERD, you name it. I wasn't in a good way. I let myself go. And I wasn't proud of it. It was slightly ashamed of myself, but it was a battle I had fought my whole life. And if you knew me, I mean, I was still the happy-go-lucky guy, but inside I was battling that demon, as a lot of people do. I'm an open book about my journey. People feel free to ask questions, but we had made the choice to have gastric bypass. Completely, utterly changed my life for the better. I won't say it's been perfect. It's absolutely still a journey, but it was something I needed to do for me. I was 360 pounds at my heaviest. Here's a couple photos. That's my youngest, or my oldest, Sadie, and this was when we went on a cruise. I mean, I was a big boy, and I'm not ashamed. It's actually funny, this is Bass Snacks Fishing. Snacks is my nickname. It's a nickname I've had since I was 12. It was given to me by one of my best friend's uncles when we went on our annual trip to Pennsylvania deer hunting. This was my first trip to the cabin. Ma was nice enough to take a tote like you see here, like this one, and fill it full of snacks for me to bring down. Well, Uncle Casey opened the tote up and goes, "Holy cow, that's a lot of snacks. I'm going to call you Snacks." And that's how I got the nickname Snacks. It wasn't until about, that was a deer camp nickname that I had. It wasn't until about, 15 years ago, me and my best friend and some buddies went down there, and they heard the nickname for the first time, and well, now everybody up here knows me as Snacks too. 100% fine with it. Don't ever feel like you're insulting me calling me Snacks. I love the nickname. But back to what I was talking about. So in July 13th of 2017, I started my weight loss journey. I weighed 360 pounds. I had to lose 10% of my excess body weight. For me, it was 19 pounds to get to my goal prior to surgery. I achieved that goal going into surgery. I weighed 320 pounds. That was February 2nd of 2018. As I stand here today, I am at 215 pounds as of this morning. The lowest I've gotten was 205, and I'm comfortable between 210 to 220. 220 is my comfortable number. Any more than that, I start to feel like crap. And no, I'll be honest too. This past Christmas, we all eat well around the holidays. I'm no different than anybody else. I got up to like 240, and it scared the crap out of me. I never wanted to see that number in my life again. So I got back to that mental mindset of where I was post-surgery and the training I had gone through, and I got myself back down to 210, 205, you know, and I'm happy with that. If I'm in this ballpark, I'm good. You know, it's where I feel comfortable. Since the surgery, the day of the surgery, they took me off the CPAP, they took me off the blood pressure medication, they took me off the type 2 diabetes. I will forever have those categories labeled with me, but I am a managed type 2 diabetic. I'm fine with that. As long as I can take care of it and prolong my life that way, we're doing the right thing. I will say I have had some complications. Not crazy, but I am now, I've had a couple ulcers now. Again, they tell you about all these risks when you go into the surgery. The way I look at it is, there's risk in everything you do. For me, getting rid of the other issues I had and dealing with an ulcer is way better than the road I was going down. So I'll take what I have, and we'll tackle those hurdles as they come. So that's a little bit about me and my journey. Like I said, I'm an open book. I've had numerous people call and ask me questions, text, email, you name it. If you have questions, please reach out. I will answer them. I will do anything I can to answer them. And if I don't have the answer, I will try to find somebody that can answer it for you. Having a great support system like my wife and my kids is everything to me, and they pushed me to be a better person. And life for me at this point is just, it's unbelievable, and I'm just so happy. But again, thanks for watching, and if there's more you want to know, like I said, please feel free to leave a comment and shoot me an email, and we'll cover those topics. Appreciate your time.